If you're in your late 20s and you have always gotten good grades and you're suffering from either anxiety or depression, this video is for you. So let me just explain, because just recently I had a new girl client. She was 18 and she came here and she was suffering from really bad anxiety and depression for quite a bit of while. And so when she came here, she thought there was something really wrong with her. And I had to tell her basically flat out, there is nothing wrong with you. However, and this is the deal, guys, I'm not a doctor. I just know how life works and I know how the mind works. So what I had explained to this lovely endearing child is that she's been duped, and she's been duped her entire life to believe that she is worthy only if she gets good grades. So I want you to understand this. This girl, she's 18. So let's just play around and see. She's been in school for 12 years. For 12 years of her life, she has stood in judgment of herself based on the grades that she received. Do you know how opposite that is and how contrary that is into loving yourself and feeling good and loving yourself regardless? That mindset, which you have been taught and trained your entire life, is actually the mindset that's holding you back and making you feel bad about yourself. So this poor girl has been validating her worthiness based on dumb grades. And yes, she's been pretty lucky. She's gotten good grades, but this is the deal. For 12 years, she has put that pressure on her every single day of her life. When you put pressure on yourself every single day to be the best, to get good grades, and guys, just so you know, the grading system, someone made it up. Okay, it's not even a real system. It's a system that does not empower every single person. It empowers the child that's really good at memorizing information. It empowers a child that is kind of like book smart with learning stuff they don't really care about, but for the sake of the grade, they're willing to do it. And so if you're really creative, or you're an artist, or you're a genius in some other way, that education system does not empower you to feel smart. It does the opposite. It empowers you to think it disempowers you to think that something's wrong with you, which is the complete opposite of everything I teach, and the complete opposite of Start Loving Life, the philosophy I teach, and the lifestyle I teach. So I want you to understand, if you're in your late teens, you've been getting good grades, you have anxiety, the only reason why you do is you've trained yourself that you're only as worthy as your grades, an outside thing. So this is what you need to do. You need to reframe your mind. You need to understand that you're not your grades, and your grades are kind of like bogus. They just are. And you could be like, Connie, I want to be a doctor and I want to go to med school and I need good grades. And yeah, that's all fine and good. But guess what? If you don't feel good about yourself and your mental state isn't well, then really what does being a doctor mean, right? Because you're going to go to med school and you'll be a doctor, but you're going to be a sad doctor. You're going to be an unhappy doctor. And yeah, you might make money, but guess what? You're still going to be miserable. So really, what's the point? The point is your happiness now. And it's understanding and just being mindful. And this is the biggest thing, guys. Education is power. It really is. And knowledge is power. And knowing how your mind works, and knowing that if you have validated yourself for 12 years, and I'm saying 12 years because that's the amount of years that you've been in school, where you really have judged yourself harshly. Okay, you've judged yourself harshly on being good by your grades. And so let me just say another thing on a flip side about your grades and doing well all the time. When you train yourself that you need to do well and you need to get A's in order to feel good about yourself and feel confident and worthy, what happens is you train yourself never to take risks either, which means that you miss opportunities, you miss your potential. You miss going after life in a big way because you don't want to fail because you feel bad about failing. Where really, to be successful, you got to learn how to fail. You got to learn how to fail and be like, oh shit, I screwed that up. And then you got to figure out how to get back on the horse. And that's really what life is about. Life is about trying things out, seeing how it works. And if it doesn't work, you try again. But if you're so used to being the best and getting the best grades, you will not do that. And so you're selling yourself short. And that's why I want you to understand how powerful your mind is, and how if you stand in judgment of yourself for anything, that is the complete opposite of self-love. That is the complete opposite of self-care. And self-love is the one thing, the only thing you must learn in order to fix your anxiety. And that's another thing. Anxiety is not normal. It's not something you need to cope with. It's not something you need to have for the rest of your life. It is not necessary. And it's about you learning how to love yourself regardless, and anyone can do it.